When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, will you be the savior of the broken, the beaten and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, you demons and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer, so join the Black Parade. Let me hear you, Canada! Cause the world will never take my heart, don't try. You'll never break me, you want it all. You wanna play this, but I won't explain. I say I'm sorry, I'm unashamed. I'm gonna show my scar, give a cheer for all the broken. Listen here, you're just me, just a man, not a hero, just a boy who had to sing this song. Just a man, I'm not a hero. I don't. I said, Canada, let me hear you! right as we were dead. Tongue-tied and oh so squeamish. You've never felt in love. Did you get what you deserve? The ending of your life. And if you get to heaven, I'll be here waiting, babe, to get it right that you deserve. The ending of your life. Oh, wait, when your heart can't take the tale. You have to inside your dead. No one ever had much nice to say. I never liked you anyway. You were take me from the hospital bed. Wouldn't it be great to make a list of other men? And wouldn't it be great if we were dead? And in my honest observation, to ring this operation and the complication in your heart so long. 'Cause now you'll be out. Maybe just 2 weeks to live and let the most of all you can have. Come on!
Gentlemen, welcome to our very special live at Much. How are you, sir? How'd you like that? Welcome, 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 Bob. Welcome, sir. Hey, we're gonna take a quick break. After the break, your chance at home to talk to the guys at MCR. It's a lot of Much. Stay tuned. Much with My Chemical Romance. More performances to come. But in the meantime, welcome, welcome, guys.
Thank you.
How was that?
It was that was incredible. I want to thank, we want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How's that for a warm reception on a very cold night?
Yeah, it's hot in there, so that's all that matters.
A lot of people have been waiting a very long time for this album.
Yeah, they have. I mean, we're just really proud of it. We're really excited, and we're really happy to share it with everybody. It's just a very special record to us. So
there is a happy ending to this album.
There is, yeah. I'd say there's a happy ending to the record, right? Happy ending to the record.
There's a happy ending.
I think so. I get a sense of hope at the end.
I was reading, though, that it saw you through the toughest times you guys have ever been through together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, making this record was the hardest thing we've ever had to do as a band. And so the record really got us through it, you know, and we knew that they would all be here for us when we got finished, so it made it worthwhile, you know.
It's so interesting to me, Gerard, because you're one of the rare songwriters that plans so far in advance. I read that albums in advance, you know the song titles beforehand, and I wonder, what was the one thing that you didn't plan for that went wrong in this album?
Oh, I don't think anything went wrong, but we didn't plan a lot of it. That's why the song titles, I think, ended up being so short, is because the themes and the concepts all came out of the music, and sometimes, you know, you wanted to call a song just Dead, or just Sleep, or just Mama. Like, they're very short, very to the point, this record, so.
You decided for a theme on this album, and for the people at home, do you want to explain the theme of the album?
Yeah, well, very basically, it's based on a theory that when you die, you know, I like to believe that death comes for you from your strongest memory in a subconscious way, and kind of takes you by the hand and brings you off to your next destination. And for this particular character named the Patient, his strongest memory is of his father taking him into the city to see a parade. So,
guys, during the toughest times that you guys have been through as a band, what were those memories of this that got you through those tough times?
What got us through the tough times? I think they're all having a hard time hearing.
It was just us being together, and we, like, I know any problems that anybody had when we were doing this, we looked at each other to figure out how to get better, and we all worked with each other, and we couldn't have done it without each other.
Now, although there is a...
And I don't even know if that was a question or not. I'm just guessing.
No, you got it.
I can't hear a thing.
You got it.
Now, it is a fictional story, and I'm wondering what part of this particular story do each of you personally relate to?
The thing about the patient is that he's kind of an everyman. You can kind of put yourself, anybody can put themselves in that character. And I think that, looking back, like, there's definitely decisions that you might have made or times where you feel like maybe you didn't live life to the fullest. And when you start to realize that you never know when your time is up, anybody can relate to that kind of thing. So for us, or at least for me, it helped me to really just make sure that make every second count.
There were those moments very early on in this band's career where it could have been no more. I mean, you were ready to give up at one point, were you not?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't necessarily ready to give up, as it might not have been my choice. It might have been somebody else's choice. I might not be alive today, and I made the decision with the help of the band to take a different path. And I think, those guys helping me through that is the reason that I have everything that I have today. So.
One of the songs that I particularly like, that I've been reading a lot about, is Teenagers. It's about gun violence, and I wonder if it's an epidemic that's going on in the U.S. It's coming over here as well, and I wonder what is so important to you about talking about it.
The song just kind of, what it is we play for people of all different ages, but we play to a lot of teens. And when we were in high school, it just started to get really violent in America when I was in high school. And then when I was in art school, it got really violent. And that's when Columbine happened. And I think there's not enough being said about that. And I know there wasn't ever a song about it. And we needed this song to really count. And we needed it to be about something important. And that's the first thing that the song wanted to be about, really. I mean, that's how we found that topic. It just came to us,
The thing about that a lot of people remember in high school is a lot of violence, and a lot of the gun violence you're talking about is a lot of young boys. It's a lot of young men perpetrating this kind of stuff. And when you're in high school, especially for men or young boys, violence is a way of exuding your masculinity.
Right. I mean, it gets very tribal in high school, and you're separated into cliques or groups, and it feels like nobody's really there for you, but there are actually people there for you, people for you to talk to. And but it is often young troubled men that turn to violence to, I don't know,
Not being particularly the most violent people or the most jockish people growing up, how do you think that affected your growth as people?
Well, we did grow up in a violent area of New Jersey, and I think it really actually had the reverse effect on us. Instead of making us violent, it made us, I feel, more intelligent. It made us want to use our brains. It made us really live in our own heads, but for our betterment, I think,
It's often the women in our lives as men who teach us how to be men, or what it is to be a man. And I wonder, Mikey and Gerard, what did your grandmother teach you about what it was to be a man?
Our grandmother taught us to have a lot of respect. I think she taught us, just like my father, to really respect women. And, and my grandmother was the kind of woman that she would just command your respect. But just because she was so sweet and so special and so unique, and I mean, every guy in this band has nothing but total respect for women. So
we've got an audience question. I'm not the only person who gets to ask the questions. And we've got an audience question right over here. Listen. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Rachel.
What's your question for the guys?
Okay, well, we just want to let you guys know that we love you all endlessly. And my question is, if you could go back to school, all of you, what would your major be?
Good question.
If you could go back to school, what would your major be?
Kicking ass.
I would be an archaeologist and explore the pyramids.
Me and Gerard would be archaeologists.
Home economics.
Economics?
Home economics.
Home economics.
I think I'm going to go pilot.
What?
A pilot.
Pilot.
You said that
That's
one
right.
time before, and it kind of struck something in my head, and then I was like, I'm going to do it one day. I'll do it.
Do any of you ever think about that, possibly going back to school or studying?
I actually do all the time. Like, I really want to go back to school and take some more drawing classes, because if you don't do a lot of life drawing, if you stop drawing, like, you get really out of practice. and your people start to look like fire hydrants and stuff, and you know.
The great part about the position that you guys are in is now that you're out of school and you've got success, you could go back and study anything that you're actually interested in studying as opposed to having to study it just because you're at school.
I still cut class and smoke cigarettes, though.
What?
I don't know why.
Do you know what's really weird?
Yeah.
I have unfinished business.
I got a feeling some of these guys would still like skip class, right?
I thought the question was, what would you be like if you had another profession?
I was saying.
I can't hear it.
Similar. Similar enough.
One thing. So I guess the school would be
Your major.
learning to be a pilot.
Right. Exactly.
All right. Guys, we got a text question. It's from Robin, and she's wondering, this is pretty interesting to me, how did you get Liza Minnelli on the album, and why did you get Liza Minnelli on the album?
Well, first of all, we got Liza Minnelli because we wanted somebody that had a lot of strength in her voice, a lot of sorrow, had been through a lot, had loved, lived, and lost, and somebody that carried with it a tradition and a lineage. And I mean, you know, the record's very theatrical, it's very cabaret, and I mean, you know, we went to the source, really. And Rob Cavallo called a friend of hers, and she was so excited to do it. She did it for free. She loved the band, and she was so sweet, so funny, and so charming.
Are you guys big Arrested Development fans?
Yeah,
Actually, yeah.
She's the best character in the show.
Yes, she is.
You guys get the rare opportunity to meet some of your idols now. I know that you've got a strong relationship with Green Day, now with Liza Minnelli. When you look at people who have that much experience, what do they offer you? I mean, what do they say to you when you speak to them? What do you ask people like that?
We ask him for help, really, because we don't know how to do this. We're still winging it, you know what I mean? So, I mean, when I have a problem, I'll email Billy Joe and say, hey, this is bumming me out, and he always sends me a letter back and makes me feel better. So, I mean, the best part is now we get to, a lot of our heroes, we get to meet them, and they get to help us, and it's awesome.
Unbelievable. We have tons more to talk about. More performance, your chance to talk to MCOs coming up. We're going to take a break. Stick around for a Live at Much. Chance to talk to the band coming up, but what's a rock show without the rock? Give it up for My Chemical Romance.
Down or hand no way. About that dirty looks, the photographs your boyfriend took. Remember when you broke out the ground, jumping after seconds go by. Okay, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. You wear this. Show you that there's nothing take the time and time again you sing the words but to me I joke and look another line without a hug. I had to close as we close up for the last time. Cause I'm telling the truth, means there's no option. I can't make you stay, but where's your heart? But where's your heart? But where's your... And I know there's nothing I can say to change that heart, to change that heart, to change. Words I thought I'd never speak. Awake and unafraid, asleep. Let me see you put your hands together. See you lying next to me. Words I thought I'd never speak. Awake and unafraid.
Completely interactive features. You can talk to the guys, you can email, you can call, you can text. More chat with the guys. Welcome back to our Live at Much with My Chemical Romance, brand new material and the hits on the way. But in the meantime, we have the unique opportunity to talk to the guys. Welcome again. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Now, when you guys left to tour Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, 2 of you were living in a basement. A lot of you are going through some hard times. And I wonder, when you leave for 2 years and your career reaches that epic crescendo, what's it like to come home and have to face those problems?
Interesting you ask, because I'm still living in a basement.
Come on.
I'm living at my mom's again.
He's moving near me soon.
Yeah,
You guys are gonna
getting
live
a
together?
place. Yeah, we're gonna live in the same building. Bob
complex,
has
yeah.
his own.
Oh, jeez.
The guys all have places,
Yeah,
though.
we have places now.
But the unique thing about when you tour as a band is you essentially get to leave, but when you come back, the problems that you left are still essentially there.
Yeah. No, this is real true.
That is true. I agree.
How did that affect touring or this album?
Well, I mean, it makes it a little trickier, at times very difficult. I think that's what ends up affecting you on the road. It's not the life on the road and how hard it is or waking up early. That's not, or the flights or anything. It's the stuff that happens back home that you can't be there for to help people, and that really bums you out, you know?
Well, I was about to ask about that. I mean, what's that 3 a.m. phone call like where you're halfway across the world and you can't just go home?
You feel really hopeless, you know, or helpless is what I mean. Like
We're gonna come back outside.
we're having a serious discussion right now. Yeah, I mean, there's no right. God damn it!
We're gonna come outside. No, but I mean, you must deal with that sort of isolation when you get those kinds of phone calls.
No, absolutely. I mean, like,
Yeah.
there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. All you can say is, you know, I'll be home soon, and that's really always the thing that you kind of end up saying is like, I love you and I'll be home soon. Like, I don't know what else I can do, but if there's any, like, if you want to call me again at 5 a.m., I'll be here. But
We need to invent a teleporter.
Nice. A teleporter. Expensive phone bills, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's worth it. We wouldn't put up with that if this didn't mean everything to us. So that's why we do it. So.
At the level that you guys have reached, this is the time when things can start to happen within that dynamic, and I wonder what has been the strongest test of friendship amongst you guys.
I think finishing this record. I mean,
absolutely, yeah,
it's the one thing that brought us closer together. Go ahead.
We went into writing and recording this record thinking we were like the closest we could possibly be, but after all the things, like when you dig really deep and you push each other so hard, like demons come out and you have to like fight them, and to do that on your own is really hard. So when you really find out that you're living with your family and these are the people that really have your back, it makes you feel, I don't know, more powerful, I guess, because you're fighting it together.
What was your personal demon that you had to deal with?
The different things come up, like depression and wondering, you know, like, you're away for so long and you give so much to this. Is it worth it? Are you going to, are you going to make a difference? Is it going, in the long run, going to be worth being away from the people that you love and abandoning people? And, when you write something that all of a sudden, like, people say, like, thank you, and you pushing the limits and doing what you guys did really changed my life, that makes it worthwhile, you know?
Is a struggle between the relationship with these people and the people that you love? It seems like you have to balance the two as well.
Yeah, you do. You do have to balance it. It's never a struggle really with them or the people you love. It's really within yourself, and that's what you find out is that the struggle is all really internal, and it's very difficult dealing with having a crash course in growing up. Taking care of yourself, fame, success, all this other stuff that you didn't plan on, and it really sometimes it could eat out, your insides, eat your insides up, and.
I was talking to Damon from Badly Drawn Boy a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how fame doesn't change you, but you have to change to cope with fame. Do you guys identify with that?
I think to an extent you have to adapt to it, and you have to be ready for it. You have to be prepared for it. You run out of time and things like that. You want to be able to make time for every single person, and sometimes you can't. And that's actually one of the biggest drags, that sometimes you can't meet everybody.
One of the interesting things about the lifestyle that you live is nobody can really teach you how to do it. You've got to learn for yourself. What was the hardest part that way?
What was the hardest thing we had to learn for ourselves in this lifestyle?
Oh, man. Not everybody's your friend, even if they come off that way. Let's see, what else?
Talk about how does that affect coming into new relationships? I don't just mean romantic, but I mean friends-wise.
There's a lot of sharks, and sometimes it's hard to not shut everybody out because of that, Sometimes you just got to be on your guard at all times, and really, who your family is. You can count them on like maybe 2 hands, and everybody else kind of not has to prove themselves, but you always have to be on guard sometimes.
One of the interesting things about this band is the Black Parade is your alter ego,
right,
as a band, but I wonder whether each of you internally have that other side that only you see when you look at the mirror at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I think everybody has a strong duality. That's every human being, and we're no exception to that. And I think that's what we faced in this record. I think the Black Parade, in a weird way, represents that other side of us that we had to face. I don't know much about the Black Parade yet, as far as a band. I don't know if they're nice people or not. We're trying to find out. But when you face that other part of yourself, it helps you really kind of discover who you really are. So,
Paul's got an audience question. Paul?
All right.
How's it going? I was just wondering, you guys have a very theatrical music style, like you said before, and your songs always seem to tell really amazing stories. And I was just wondering, do you guys find more inspiration from, say, movies and books than you do from other bands?
Absolutely. I think this would be the most musically inspired album we put out, meaning like it was inspired by Queen's Night at the Opera, Pink Floyd's The Wall, very classic rock records. But cinema, big part of that has always been cinema for this band. We watch, everything from European films to Hong Kong action flicks to horror movies to, it's all very relative to dramas, and that's where we draw, I think, our biggest influence for everything. The uniforms, the look, the aesthetic, and the music, everything.
Great question, Paul.
It was.
We've got a phone call question as well.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Juliana, are you there? I guess Juliana's not there.
Well.
Sorry,
Thanks.
Juliana. Gerard, you had to deal with addiction issues. It's been well documented. Being sober, how difficult was it for you to find that sober self and that sober identity?
I had a good 2 years to do that, and I don't think I would have been able to do what I brought to this record if I wasn't clean and sober. I am more proud of this record than anything I've been a part of before, because I had to do it perfectly clean and perfectly sober, and that makes it really pure and really focused. So.
When you deal with that sort of thing, sobriety, what's more difficult? The physical addiction or the mental addiction?
The mental addiction. You're going out. I'm okay with it now, but you go and hang out with your friends. We all go out, and you miss holding a drink in your hand. That's the bottom line, and you feel that that's part of partying. So what you do is then you just stop going out and stop being social, and then you become a weirdo, and So, but now I'm really cool with it. We go hang out all the time. I'm totally cool with being around people that are wasted. It's fine. As long as they're not like total idiots, it's cool.
You just have a soda with a lime.
Yeah, soda with lime, exactly.
Email question.
Okay.
From across the country. I've got it, coincidentally, in my jacket pocket. We got Christina from Fort Erie. She wants to know, what was the biggest challenge you've had to face this year?
Biggest challenge. Biggest challenge we have faced this year.
Well, this year, all we've done is really write the record, so that would have to be it.
Yeah, the Black Parade is the biggest challenge we had to face this year. We met them in a parking lot, and, they brought knives, they cheated, it wasn't fair. So, I think they won,
It's difficult.
Yes, it's difficult.
So, another thing with this band is the fans, all of these fans are so dedicated. And you guys are completely honest. To them, and I imagine they're completely honest with you. Is it a draining band to be in that respect?
No. The honesty is the best part. Seriously, don't ever stop telling us what you really think, because it's very important to us. And it's that kind of dedication where you could play a show and be on stage, and in that moment you're all extraordinary together, and you could kind of do no wrong to them. But then you can come off stage and they may not like your sneakers, and they'll tell you, and I like that. You know what I mean? They'll be like, man, you're really crappy in that song, man. It's just good to hear honesty. you know.
What are the most important personal stories you've heard from fans?
Well, they're all really too personal to tell, but I've heard, but the best ones have been about somebody overcoming something to be who they are today, and if some way, and if we've helped them in some way get there, or even without our help, just stories of people overcoming and beating the odds to be who they are. That's the
Speaking
best.
of fans, we got a bunch outside. You guys want to take a little walk outside
Yes.
and say hello? All right. The guys in My Chemical Romance are coming on out. Gentlemen, if you'll just kindly follow me. Bob, you can bring that piece of the set. Don't worry about it. Gentlemen, come on out. The guys in My Chemical Romance, these guys have been waiting all day long. Bob even found a piece of the set. More music, more chat with MCR. It's alive and much. Stay tuned.